Looping constructs in Python. Although we have already seen the introduction of the topic, so let's start with the topic with a few revision and few exercises. Looping constructs in Python. In any programming language, not in Python, there are two types of construct we have already seen. The first one is selection construct and the second one is iteration construct, or we can also say that is the looping. What does it looping means? Basically, this looping construct or iterative construct is the construct through which we can repeat a particular set of code. As you can see here, it has been defined that iterative statements are decision control statements that are used to repeat the execution of a list of statements. That means if we need to repeat a particular set of statement multiple times, we can utilize the concept of looping, or we can utilize the concept of repetition. To work on this repetition or to work on the looping, there are two types of tools provided by Python. The first one is while loop and the second one is for loop. There is no mandatory clause to use only while loop or only for loop. That depends upon the comfort of each and everyone. Let's start with the while loop. In any loop, whether it is a while loop, for loop, in both of the loop, the three key points are required. As you can see on the screen, it is written at the bottom of the slide that the key points are initialization, condition, incrementation or decrementation. That depends on the structure of the question. That means if I will tell you to count from 1 to 10, the point of initialization will be 1 because we are starting from 1. The condition, that is the point where we have to end. According to the question, we have to end at 10. So the condition will be 10. And since we have to move in the ascending order, that is from 1 to 10, the next value from after 1 we need to have 2, then 3, then 4 and then 5 and so on. So this will be the illustration, this will be the example of incrementation. But if someone will ask you to print the value from 10 to 1, at that point of time the initial value, that is the starting point, will be 10. Because for the question to print the value from 10 to 1, you have to start from 10 and you have to end at 1. So the initial point will be 10 and the condition will be 1. So after 10, I hope that you need the next value, that will be 9 and then 8 and then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this will be the example of decrementation because you need the next decrement value from the initial point. So this will be the example of decrementation. So either you are going to have the incrementation or decrementation. Both cannot be implemented in the same looping construct. As you can see here, as the syntax, what does it mean by syntax? You are already aware about the syntax. That means how to write a particular code. So according to the syntax of the while, first you need to provide the initialization that must be written above the while loop. And then inside the while you have to maintain the condition, you have to put the colon, and inside the while loop, that is inside the while line, just below the line where you have written while condition, you have to mention the body of the loop. Body of the loop, that means the code that will run inside the while loop. Inside that body of the loop you have to write at least one line that will be associated with either incrementation or decrementation. So we will see the content through some practical example. At the right side of the slide you can see the flow chart has been given to you just to illustrate how your while loop will work practically. You can see a diamond box is given to you. In that diamond box it is written their condition. So based on the condition will be we are going to illustrate how the condition can be written, but the output of the condition will be either true or false. If the condition is telling true, that means the body of the loop will be started. After the starting of the body of the loop, again the condition will be rechecked, and this checking will be continuously done till the condition becomes false. Let's see some example. It will help you more to understand how the while loop is working. So this is the example. We have already we have already seen this one earlier also. So just from the same example, I am going to illustrate this, that how to program in Python to print first 10 numbers using a while loop. First 10 numbers, we are assuming that the numbers would be the whole number. That is why I am starting from 0. We can start from 1 also. That depends upon the type of the question that will be asked to you. Earlier we have seen the question that was asked was print the number from 1 to 10, but right now we are trying to print the value from 0 to 10. So we have to start from 0. That is why it is written there I is equals to 0. This line is basically known as the point of initialization. I is equals to 0, that is the point of initialization. From this point we are starting our loop. Then the condition is written, it is written inside the bracket, although bracket is not required. You can write without the bracket, and the condition is while I is less than equals to 10. The condition, this is known as condition, I is less than equals to 10. That means we are asking the compiler to do all the jobs written below the while loop till the value of I is either less than or equals to 10. And we are knowing that right now the value of I is 0. So the condition is true because the value 0 is less than or equals to 10. So it will go inside the while loop. One important factor is here that when you are using the while loop, just like if else or elif, you have to put colon at the end of the statement. As you can see, it is written there while I is less than or equals to 10 and then colon. The moment you are going to press the colon and enter the press the enter button, you will see that in the next line the cursor is coming after few spaces, probably after one tab. This is the indentation of your while loop, the body of the while loop. So you have to write from the same segment. As you can see here, in the next line just after the condition it is written print I, and the P of the print I is starting just below approx h. So we have to maintain the indentation that our compiler is providing to us. So this I will be printed, and then we are writing I equals to I plus 1. This I equals to I plus is nothing. This is known as incrementation. So this line will increment the value. Same way, if there is a question in which you have been asked to find the sum of n natural numbers. What is n? N will be the value that will be given by the user. So based on the value that will be given by the user, that will be your input point. And if, for example, as the illustration is given in front of you, if the input value is 5, then what you need to process? We need to process the summation from 1 to 5, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Accordingly, we are going to get some output. For this illustration, the output will be 15, and this output will be provided to the user. Let's see how this programming can be done using while loop. So this was the question, write a program to find the sum of n natural numbers. So let's have the solution. According to the question, first we need to ask a number from the user. That is why we have written x is equals to int input enter a number. We are knowing that why we have written int, because whatever the number that will be given by the user will be in the form of a string. First we need to convert this string into integer format. So this string will be converted into integer format just because of this int. So whatever the number that will be given by the user will be stored in x. Now we are having two different variables. One is I and second one is s. I am using I That is a convention in many books and online content, that I can be taken as the variable to control the loop. It is not mandatory to use only I. You can use any name of the variable. It can be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, anything, even your name also. Just we need to follow the rules that has been given to you during the session of tokens. We have learned the terms of tokens. We have seen what are the rules for identifiers, and we have to follow the rules of identifier. So we are taking here two variables, I and S. I will be used to control the loop, and S will be used to sum all the variables that are arising inside the loop. So I has been started from 0. The condition is while I is less than or equals to X. X is the number that was given by the user. Colon has been given. Just below the while you can see it is written S is equals to S plus I. And what is the starting value of S? It is 0. And what is the starting value of I? It is still 0. So the first value that will be added will be 0 plus 0. Finally, S will have the value 0 plus 0, that is 0. Next time I will be incremented. I will be incremented, it will become 1. 0 plus 1, it will become 1. Then you can see here it is written print sum is S. This line will not be executed. Why? Because the value of I is right now 1. And this looping will continue to work. It will be processed till the condition is true. That means it will work till the value of I is either less than or equals to X. And we are knowing that earlier the value of I was 0, it has been incremented, and now it becomes 1, and 1 is still less than X. Since it is less than X, again S will be added, S plus I. Earlier value of S was 0, current value of I is 1. 0 plus 1, it will become 1. So the new value of S is 1. Now the current value of I is 1. Again 1 plus 1 has been done. So the new value of I becomes 2. At this scenario, the value of S becomes 1 and the value of I becomes 2. Now again check whether the value of I is less than or equals to 2, less than or equals to X. Yes, it is less than or equals to X. We are assuming that the value of X is anything. Let's have the example 5. So if it is 5, the value of I is 2. So 2 is less than 5. Again S will be calculated. Earlier the value of S was 1, and the current value of I is 2. So 1 plus 2 will be done. Now the current value of S becomes 3. Since the current value of I is 2, again 1 will be added, it will become 3. This addition and this incrementation will be done till I reaches the value till X. Now after reaching the value, automatically the condition will become false. The moment I will be incremented more than X, that means when I will become 6, the loop will be terminated, and after that this last line will be executed. And in the last line you can see it is written print sum is S. So finally you are going to get the summation. The message will be flashed as sum is, and along with that we have utilized the variable name, that is S. So the value of this variable will be shown to you. The next question is for factorial. So before going to this factorial, let's have the practical output of all these two questions that we have done earlier. So we have seen first program in which we have seen how to print first 10 natural numbers. We have printed from 0 to 10, and then we have seen how to find the sum of n natural numbers. So first we will solve these problems, and then practically we will see the output, and then we will come back and see the rest of the questions.